Welcome to HICGI News Agency.
HICGI News Agency Live. Welcome.
Agency. HICGI News Agency. This is HICGI News Agency.
News Agency. This is HICGI News Agency.
News Agency Live.
We are live. HICGI News Agency. This is HICGI News Agency.
Talk of HICGI News Agency. This week there's been profound events changing the Middle East. What used to be, or what has been a crisis in the Middle East, where the Strait of Hormuz has been closed for a bigger time, and of course Iran has been trying to analyze the situation since the ceasefire. We are seeing President Donald J. Trump signing an agreement with Iran that would now necessitate the flow again of oil in the Strait of Hormuz. That is going to bring down oil prices. So far we've already seen that the oil prices are coming down, and there is hope that peace finally is getting back in the Middle East. All our viewers from Kampala, Uganda to Johannesburg, South Africa, where you're seeing the xenophobia actions being now becoming into a continental, a global issue of attention, that in the recent World Cup, when South Africa was playing, African teams or African fans now had to switch to the opponents who are not Africans just because of the xenophobia. Some people have died, and several countries are picking up their citizens, but we would like to call for peace and calm, because we are all one people, we are all brothers and sisters. There's no reason why such acts can be done. On the Senior Citizens Talk of HICGI News Agency, I'm joined by Honorable Christine Acayo from Nebbi, which is now called Pakwachi, in the 9th Parliament of Uganda, where she was representing. Honorable, welcome to the Senior Citizens Talk.
Thank you.
Yes. We'd like to know your personal journey and during this time of leadership that you undertook in the 9th Parliament. Probably there's some lessons we will drive from your personal journey.
Thank you so much, Dr. Kivumbi, and the viewers. My name is Christine Acayo. I represented the people of Nebbi in the 9th Parliament as woman MP.
Okay.
Yes.
Under any other ticket?
Under NRM ticket. It has been a long journey. I'm born in Pokwero from the Ragem clan in current Pakwachi District.
Okay.
But formerly Zombo, Nebbi, Pakwachi were all one district.
They were all one district.
Today, you find the Pokwero, Panyango sub-county, they are now in Pakwachi district. So my journey started a long way. When I was growing up, I didn't dream of becoming an MP.
It was not a dream.
It wasn't. It wasn't a dream. So my early childhood, I grew up in Arua, where my father was working. He was a head of department, postmaster, and so we lived in comfort. We stayed in those big government houses, and it's not clear. I didn't have any dream by then.
Okay.
We had water inside. We had a cooker. We were taken to school. I just went to school, came back. But life changed. Life changed. There was the war in 1979.
Of
and the war in 1980.
Oh.
So my life's journey has mostly been shaped by my interaction with my father, the late Vicencio Owin, who loved me so much and so much shaped what I became, the war, and then my prayer life, which started from school, the school I went to.
Okay.
So when the war came, in 1979, there was the Liberation War. I was still in primary. And it was April. The Tanzanian troops, whom we called Wakombozi, they kept advancing.
Yes.
You know, we were hearing over radio. They have reached Kampala, they have reached Luwero, they have reached Nakasongola. Then now, as they were reaching Karuma, so we started hearing somewhere they are killing people. So it is good to run to the rural areas. So my mother tells us, let's go. So we packed and we were able to board vehicles going to Pakwach, and we went to our village. Later we had, after some months, we had that they were Kombos, they reached Arua. But we had a lot of stories as they reached Arua, they killed many people in the neighborhood who didn't run. Because we could hear this neighbor was killed with a wife, the other one was killed with a sister, the other one was also killed. Then we're like, wow, it's good that we ran away. So after things settled, we went back to Arua. But then, come 1980, on 9th October,
yes,
that's Independence Day. And Arua, just like in other town, has that celebration. So we were preparing. It was a culture in Arua that every independence celebration, in the afternoon, there'll be cultural dance from all the regions of West Nile. So the big bomber ground, you'll find the Lubaras dancing there, the Kakwas, the Alurs, the Jonam, the Nubians. So all traditional dances, you go to that one, you leave, you go to another. So we were like, in the afternoon we are going to go.
yes.
But not around 9 or 10, we started hearing gunshots.
1980.
1980, I was still in primary. Started a small one, taco, taco, taco. Then later we started hearing big tidding from that side of Giligili. And you know that the brigade command, they were located there in Giligili, some few meters away from the Congo border. And we could see black smoke rising up. And we didn't know gunshots, you know, those days. Then somebody came running from town, a relative of my father. He came, he lived in town. For us, we were like half a kilometer or 1 kilometer from town. But for him, it was near the bomber ground. So he came, told my mother, he said, you know, and by then my father had been transferred to Gulu, but he left the family in Arua. Said, you know, you better take off with the children. Things are very bad in town. Everybody's running away. And he said, get away now. So we didn't pick any clothes, we didn't pack anything. You just live the way you are.
My God.
The dress you're wearing, no going to look for shoes or what. And we just started moving with him, and we saw other people also coming. And we just started moving towards the direction of Nebbi. There's a route to Pakwach via Pawor, Wadai. So we started walking on foot. And very many people were walking, running away from town. So we walked. We thought we would sleep like 3 kilometers at near Muni Girls School, Muni NTC. We thought it was away from town. We take cover, and the following day we'll go back. And in the night we slept in the grass. Because we tried to sleep at somebody's home. You know the late Opika Poka, who was PS in education?
Yes.
Yes, he was the DC in Arua by then. And he was married to a lady whose their home was 3 kilometers away from town. So we said, let's take cover there. And then we had hardly sat down than we were told, the rebels are coming to sleep here. You know, 1980, it was now Obote's government.
It was Obote two coming back?
But the rebels, yes, the rebels were the ones who attacked Arua town. You know the Abirigas, the late Abirigas.
Yes, I know the late Abirigas.
Yes, so by then he was that side of the River Nile power, then plus the other rebels, they came to attack. They attacked Arua town. They attacked for, I think, one or 2 days. Then they were what, repulsed.
Okay.
So we found that things were bad, we couldn't go back. So we just had to proceed with the journey, walking. There were children, there were old people. And that night we just slept in the grass. And for us, we thought we were deep in the grass. Kumbe we were near the path. Then we saw the rebels now passing there, single profile. So you just hold your breath. You can't breathe loudly, less your heart. We held our breath and walked single profile. For long, for them they were moving towards our town. For us, I think they were just going to reinforce the group that had attacked during the day. So early morning, everybody was moving, said, let's proceed to our villages. We can't stay in Arua. And we continued walking. We walked only 12 kilometers, we were tired. Somewhere Ajia. So we had to branch and requested to sleep with the villagers there. They were kind. They brought for us tea. You know, tea of those days, they call ebede. No sugar.
No sugar.
You know, that time, they just slice mangoes in the hot water, and that's the tea. No sugar. So with the pumpkins, we ate.
For more than 10 years, KEB International Group has been your #1 partner in tours and travel consultancy. We also do real estate, legal services, ICT services, and much more. Find us on KEBinternationalgroup.com or write to us at info@KEBinternationalgroup.com. You may also write to us at PO Box 35827 Kampala, Uganda, or visit us on Namaswahi off Entebbe Highway. Call us on +256 200937566 or +256 3948632 or 46. Or you can send us a plus on WhatsApp on +256 752 1375 66. KEB International Group, your #1 rail business partner.
So it was good because we were hungry. The following day, we started walking. We reached Pawor. Pawor now is near the border to current-day Pakwach District. But we reached there and we thought we would sleep there. But as we had a relative who was a teacher in the primary school and we planned to sleep there. But as we were preparing to sleep, another teacher came to inform this one, you better take off. The rebels are coming to sleep here in the school. We had no sleep. And my mother's feet were already swollen. They were already swollen, but for us, the children, for us who were walking, we felt okay. But for her, the feet were already swollen, she couldn't walk. So that relative of ours said, let's go. And as we started walking away from the school towards the main road to walk away, we met the rebels again. As we were moving this way, for they were moving this way. So we decided to keep quiet. We are moving, they are also moving, entering the school. So when we reached the main road, we walked 3 kilometers Pomit. When you reach Pomit, you have passed Arua District. You are now in the former Nebbi, which is currently Pakwach District. And the following day from Pomit, we persevered. It took us like 5 days.
5 days?
Yes, to reach our village in Pokwero. But we stayed for some days with relatives because my mother's feet were swollen. She couldn't. After we crossed into Nebbi District, we felt we could now rest a bit. So finally we reached. My father did not build any house in the village. There was no house, no food, nothing. But my grandmother was still alive. So we took refuge with her. She gave us shelter, food, and that was it. So that was when I started seeing the hardship in life. For the first time, we were in a home where there was no food. Then no clothing. Because you remember, Gasha started and we just took off. No clothes. We used to have so many clothes. My father could buy only ready-made dresses. And these second-hand clothes, they were used for mopping. You know, he was postmaster, regional postmaster. So it was East African Post and Telecommunication, and they could hold meetings in Nairobi. He would come with the bales of second-hand clothes. They were used by the house girls for mopping. But here we found ourselves in a situation where you don't have a dress to change in. And no shoes. We're just walking on what? Foot. No food, no shelter, no clothes. So it was the first time I came in touch with reality, and it shaped my attitude in life.
It shaped your attitude in life.
Yes, because life in the village changed. Remember, my father was in Guru. He was also trapped, no communication. By then there were no mobile phones. The only way my mother used to communicate with my father was to go to the post office and she would use the radio call. But now with this situation, no communication. So no money, no nothing. But the villagers were very generous. Different families had also these people running away from Arua. They were in several homes. So they knew that we had arrived. So you find somebody coming with a small jerrycan of milk. We have brought this for you. Another one with a basket of potatoes. We have brought this for you. Another one, you know, Pakwach fishing community, there was plenty of fish. Another arrives with the fish. We have brought this for you. Who have taken what? Refuge.
How many were you?
It was just our family, my mother and the children. We were 5. We were just 6. We were 6. So, but we took refuge at my grandmother's home. She had the food, but we lacked shelter, we lacked clothes. Then the white fathers, the mission from the priests from the mission, when they heard that there was an influx, were like refugees from Arua. Then they got blankets. They brought at every church to distribute to those who had taken refuge. So our names were also written and we received the blankets to use. But that's when I started seeing life, walking on foot. Then we used to get water from the tap. In Poquero, water you had to go 3-4 kilometers. There's no running tap, there's no borehole, there are no streams. Pakwach is an extremely water-stressed place. So we have to go to the River Nile. It is 3 to 4 kilometers. So when they helped me to put the jerrycan in my head, I could feel my neck giving way. Then I would move a short distance, like some few meters. Then I would say, please help me, we put it down. So we put the jerrycan down and I sit down waiting for my neck to what? First. Then after some time, I carry again, walk some distance. Then the girls and women of the village who are used, they'll just laugh at us. They'll say, look at those ones. They carry water and then they keep resting several times. That was life. Then we had to go to carry firewood from the bush. We used to use a cooker. If you are using firewood, it is bought, or charcoal is bought. Now we have to go to the bush. And in the bush you see snakes, you run. Then you see how the girls, how they tie the firewood. You also try to do the same. And you know, the first time I carried the firewood, it was so heavy, my neck was giving way. So instead of supporting the firewood, it fell this side and it pierced me here and it left a mark, which I remember up to today. Then my mother told us, said, now children, we can't access daddy, there's no communication. Let's go to dig. When we dig, soon we shall have food, our own food. So we just agreed. She led us. My grandmother showed her a garden near home where we can dig. So we went to dig. The hoe cut my toe, and it is still there, you know. This one here is deformed. I was cut by a hoe when digging. That first what?
Past experience.
Yes, but we could dig. My mother would say, now do like this, do like this. And you know the soil in Pakwach is sandy, so digging is easy. And we'll dig. Then she will come back in the evening where we have dug, and she heaps what? Potatoes. Then she says, in 2 months we shall have what? Food. And every morning we could go, she said, whether we dig little, the following day you not dig the same what? Place. We are progressing. She would encourage us. So we dug potatoes, we dug beans, we planted cassava, and within 2 months, the potatoes, she started removing them when they are still very small. Then they started growing bigger and bigger. You know, you don't dig the whole thing, but you just remove what? Some. We were surviving. My mother would go to school. My mother would go to the garden every day. The water is very far, 4 kilometers. So my mother could wake up at 4 a.m. In order to be back up by 5. She makes tea, and you remember it is tea without sugar. So she takes it by 5:30. By 6, she's on her way to the garden. For us, we are going to school 3 kilometers away.
3 kilometers away.
Because there was no nearby school. Yet in Arua, the school was very near, or we could be taken in a car. Now, you have to trek first of all 4 kilometers, early morning, 4 a.m. to go to fetch water. When you have come back, by 6, you must be on your way to school 3 kilometers away.
Glovey Logistics Limited, your #1 customs clearing and forwarding cargo consolidation warehouse company. We do air shipment, worldwide sea shipment, transportation, tax consultation. Glovey Logistics Limited is a competent company specializing in logistics clearing and forwarding services. We have the necessary skills and resources and partnerships to tackle sizable projects to our clients' satisfaction. We are located at Mganzaraza Plaza near the entrance of Katwe, Kampala, Uganda. Call us on +256 779 634 328 or +256 701 784 648, or visit our website gloveylogistics.com or write to johnglovey@gmail.com. Glovey Logistics Limited, your #1 clearing and forwarding company.
So that is when I came in touch with reality, and it shaped my life. I could see my mother toiling every day in the garden. And I was like, I don't want my mom to be like this. I'm going to work very hard in school. And I will not live the rest of my life in this village. Going to fetch water 4 kilometers away. No. Then I remember the firewood. Every time you carried firewood, you really feel pain in the neck. I said, no, I don't want to continue cooking with firewood. Even the smoke. What I want to say, cook. Those were the things that started shaping. And it is where I started forming dreams. Say, I don't want this life. I want a life which is better for myself and for my mother and even for the girls and women. This life. You know, you go to the garden, after the garden, the men, they sit. But the women come back together with the men from the garden. Then they have to go to the kitchen to cook. And immediately they finish cooking, the water is far. They begin moving to go to fetch water. And by the time they come back, the sun is setting, it is night. They have not rested. Then 4 a.m. again, they are what? I said, this life for a woman is not the best. I don't want it for myself. I don't want it for my mother. I don't want it for the other girls and what? Women. I'm going to work very hard. So I started working very hard at school. I was self-driven. A teacher didn't need to tell me that you read. No. But also, my father also shaped my dreams.
Shaped your dream.
Yes, my name, my father started my name Acayo. That is his mother's name. He named me after his mother. And he loved me so much. He always referred to me as his mother. Say, my mom, how are you today? And he would praise me a lot. And he would buy for me very good clothes, actually for us. And when I remember my childhood clothes, they were all very nice. I would be very happy with my father. Then when I went to school, I wanted to make my father very happy. So I would work very hard. And I'll be number one in class. I used to top the class. And when I would come with those report cards, my father would be very excited. He'll say, yes, I know one day you'll go to the hill, to the ivory tower. That's how they refer to Makerere.
Wow.
It was the only university by then. Those days when you had a lot of money, it wouldn't take you to the university. It was only your brain.
Brain.
Yes, your performance was the only thing that to do, because there was no private university even. So my father would praise me. Then I would feel very happy. Then the following time when I went back to school, I'll say, I will be remembering how my father was laughing. And the whole day he would talk about me. And everybody knew that my father loved me so much. And they used to tell my father, the child you love most is that one. It is Christine. So when a man loves the daughter, that girl will have high self-esteem and will have a lot of confidence and can excel because of that relationship with the father. So that started shaping my dreams. I worked very hard at school. When I went to secondary school, I went to Secretariat Gulu. It is a school run by the sisters. Prayer was emphasized every morning. You had to go to prayer. It was optional, but I went for prayers every day. And one day during Mass, a priest told us, when you're passing near the chapel, say hello to Jesus. I picked it up. I'll always pass by. Even when I'm from break, I will enter the chapel. It was always open. And I'll say, hello, Jesus, how are you? When things were hard, sometimes I will read, but then I find I'm not understanding. I will go to the chapel and pray. I will say, Jesus, help me. I was always praying. So I was doing very, very well at school until the war again came. So 85, when we were in senior 4, there was the rebel activities in Gulu, and I was studying in Gulu.
Is that Museveni now or something?
That one was now Lotwa, Basil, Okelo, Lotwa.
Okay.
They were the ones in power. You remember 85, there was the peace talk going on, and Basilo's daughter was also in our school, Pascal. So the guards were always there. They would be around on the compound while she's in school. So we sat. Then I was admitted for PCB. So I said, I'm going back to Secretariat 86, early 86. We went back, but we couldn't study. At night, you could hear gunshots. Then if you're on a decker, you'll jump down. And we used to keep water under the bed because there could be water outage. So you keep water under your bed so that you wake up very early and you could bathe. But when we hear gunshots, we jump down, get under the bed, then the water in the jerrycan gets poured and you just sleep on it like that, you take cover.
Wow.
Then one day, we saw these guards that used to be in the school compound. They were not there. And we couldn't see that girl Pascal. Kumbe, I think they knew that there was going to be some changes. So they had evacuated her, I think, to Sweden. That's what we later learned. Then we heard that there was takeover of government.
Wow.
But before that, it was difficult to stay in Gulu. It was difficult because every time there was attack and classes couldn't go on and that. So my leadership journeys, they started that time. So I took the initiative. I told the other girls from West Nile, I told them, I said, let's go to the office of the Special District Administrator. You know the RDCs of today.
Yes.
Those days they were called SDAs, Special District Administrators.
Okay.
So we went and asked permission, said we are going to town. And we went to the office of the Special District Administrator. We told him, we said, we want to be helped. We are girls from West Nile. We don't have homes around. Every now and then there are these attacks by the rebels. Lessons can no longer go on. At night we cannot sleep. And you see the rebels passing, single profile, on the school compound with the grass. You know when they are being called Olum, they tie grass on their body. And then there are days when there will be exchange between the government forces and the rebels, like from 5 a.m. up to around midday. You are just there. It was a difficult time. So the Special District Administrator told us that Red Cross is willing to evacuate those who want to leave Kulu. And vehicles used to move in convoy. So if they say the convoy will leave at midday, all vehicles line up, like from Laibi all the way to town. There are so many vehicles, like 30, but no single vehicle will move alone. First of all, the soldiers would go and do their surveillance to see that the road is safe. Then after that, the army vehicles will lead. Then the civilian vehicles begin following. And you go at a very slow pace, at a very slow pace. You move slowly until when you reach Chigumba, when you reach Karuma, I mean. So we moved. So I mobilized the other girls from West Nile. I said, those who want to leave, there's an opportunity. Can we leave?
Going where?
Going back home to Pakwach. Others to Arua, others to Nebbi, others to Zombo. So Red Cross was ready to evacuate us. And those days schools were national schools. There are girls from Chigezi, from Bunyoro, from all over the country. So others were stopping in Bunyoro.
Katubanjulire kisa kya Mukama Cleaning Services tulongosa peva, amategula, tiles, terrazzo, endabirwamu, sofa sets, emifaliso, bed covers, carpets, tuoza engoye, landscaping, building renovation, fumigation, tulongosa bank, ebizimbe binene, industrial buildings, hospitals, hotels, schools, n'amakanisa. Tusange Nsambya kwa Ave Maria ng'okkirira ku Mubaraka mu maaso ga Haki petrol station. Essimu yaffe eri noti 755 35 93 59 ne noti 788 35 93 59 ku website www.kisachamukama-cleaning-services.com ne ku social media platforms zonna Kisa kya Mukama Cleaning Services bazze tulongoosa.
Proceeding to Kabale, we had girls from all over the country, even from Teso, from Tororo, from all over. So they were able to move with us up to Masindi. From Masindi now, it was safe. You go through the national park and you reach Pakwach. And I left. So 1986 name was a dead year. I couldn't complete. So I started S5 again in 87. So now I have to transfer to Mvara. This is Mvara.
Okay.
So initially I was doing PCB. Now when I transferred to Mvara, I had to change the combination to arts.
From sciences?
Yes, because they told me I should do PCM, biology. They said they didn't have enough, microscopes. Said you need to change to PCM. I was not ready to do PCM. So I changed my combination to arts and I started what? All over. But this experience of war, they made me to develop resilience and a spirit of seeking justice.
Yes.
Yes. So I from Vara I completed my A-level and I did very well. I was admitted to Makerere University, and by then it was Makerere was the only university. And I was admitted for education, but I wanted the law. My voice did not qualify for law. I was given education, And I told my dad, I said, I'm not going for education because teachers are very poor. You know, by then, teachers by then, if you looked at their shoes even, and I said, no, I'm not going to become a teacher. My father said, what? You have an opportunity to go to the ivory tower. You know, parents felt very proud if their children could go to Makerere University, the only university by then, and there were very few girls. Like in the whole Makerere University that time, from Nebbi District, were only 20 girls. So my father encouraged me, saying, no, you go. Education is a very good career for ladies, even for men. It's a very noble profession. Go. I said, no, me I'm going to go to UCC Pakwachia because I want to deal with money and get a lot of money, and said, you know, I'll not give you any money if you decide to go there. I'll not give you any money, not even pocket money. You'll forget all the things I give you. And I knew it was serious. So I had to swallow. So I just had to take his advice. I went to Makerere University. So when we were there at Makerere University, I was not happy to do education. But one day the psychology teacher, she was a Muzungu. So when she was teaching us, she asked us, where would you like to be 10 years from now? You know, the thing of a vision, a dream.
Yes.
I had not thought about it. So he said, write in one page where you'll want to be 10 years from now.
Wow.
Then I said, 10 years from now. The thing of being a classroom teacher. Because even at functions, teachers are not recognized. You know, I was that daddy's girl. I always want to be the head and not what? The tail. I don't want to be there in the background. I want to be at the what? At the forefront. And at school I was also what? I was also a prefect, a leader. So I said, so I wrote, I said 10 years from now. And since I don't want to be the tail, I don't want to be a classroom teacher. 10 years from now, I must be heading what? A school. If I'm going to be a teacher, then I must be the head teacher, the headmistress of the school. The others should follow. So I wrote it down, and she told us to hand over. But I decided to make another copy, write another copy and keep in my one file. Yes. I said, I'm going to be monitoring this and see that in 10 years, I'm where I wanted to be. So we graduated. I was sent to Ndeje SS for school practice. We were together with the current head teacher of King's College Bundo. Wow. We went for school practice to Ndeje together. Then the school retained us, but I told the school, no, I'm going back to West Nile. They lack graduate teachers. So I decided to decline that offer. I prefer to go home to teach that side of West Nile because the graduate teachers were very few. So I went, I started teaching at Mulekau School. Then I taught, there were very few graduate teachers. I taught at Mulekau School. I taught at St. Joseph's College, Ombachi, Ediofe Girls, Mvara SS. Those days, a head teacher will come to your head teacher and request, can your graduate teacher come and also help in my school? We are teaching A-level. Okay. Teaching A-level required graduate teachers, and they were very few. We were very few. So one day, it was International Women's Day. We went to the Boma ground for the celebration. Now, I saw our colleagues who did social sciences. They were now assistant coups, and they were sitting there at the pavilion. Then for us, who did education, we are teachers. We just sat there among the crowd. Then I was like, so for us teachers, we are nobodies. We are just here. We are not even at the pavilion, but we are graduates. Yes. And we are very few, and no one even recognizes us. No. Not me, I'm not going to remain here. No way.
Now you have a change of mind.
So I taught in Arua. I was there like 2-3 years. I decided to come back to Pakwach, where my district is, because there were very few graduate teachers. The school where I went, there was only one graduate, the head teacher.